First, I'd like to thank everybody for coming to help us raise the roof on this our refurbished village hall. When the trustees embarked on this project, little did we know just what was going to be involved. However, we've been fortunate to have a team of people who've spent the last 2 years bringing to fruition what you see today. And all of these people have our heartfelt thanks for what has been achieved. There are our sponsors, Bradwell Parish Council in conjunction with Milton Keynes Council, REN, the Big Lottery Fund, Milton Keynes Community Foundation and Community First. Special thanks also to Mr Frank Markland, who put us in the very safe hands of Mr Paul Inskip, our architect, when work took Fred away from our project. Paul has given so much of his time, but I think now, Paul, it's time we started paying for your services, and I look forward to receiving an invoice in the near future. I'd also like to pay tribute to all the contractors we have had on site over the last 3 months, as every one of them has worked tirelessly. But then they always say, behind every good man is an even better woman. And in our case, this came in the form of Mrs Janet Edsel, who has lived, slept and breathed this project to the point where her husband had to come and help in order to have any time with his wife. A huge thank you, Janet, from all the members of the trustee committee. And now can I ask Mr Brian King, chairman of our local parish council, to say a few words.
I will get there eventually.
You take your time, Brian.
Good afternoon, everybody. I think most of it's been said, but I'd like to pay tribute to everybody on the committee, especially Janet, of course, and also to our councillors. We've spent many a time at council meetings discussing the project and eventually giving quite a nice backing to the project. One thing I'd like to bring up is that it is a good hall, it's a lovely hall, but please take time to, when you go in the hall each time, read a couple of names either side of the door, because that's what it's all about, especially this year. So all I would say is thank you for everybody that's given help to the project. Thank you for all the councillors, Janet, everybody else. There are too many to mention. So I'll hand over now to Brian White, who will actually cut the ribbon and declare the hall open. Thank you.
I think he's trying to break his other leg. Good afternoon, my name's Brian White. Those of you who were expecting the mayor here today, unfortunately the new mayor was appointed a couple of weeks ago, but he already had a holiday booked in Turkey. And just to add to Brian's woes, Derek Eastman, who went on holiday, he fell over and he's currently in a Turkish hospital having damaged his knee ligaments. So painful start to his mayoralty. But I'm delighted to be here to reopen the Memorial Hall. It was 30 years ago today that Len and I were wandering down here. We'd just put down a deposit on a partially constructed house in Bradbury Close, and we thought we'd wander around the village and see the way that the village was actually progressing. We came across the pubs, obviously. We came and looked at the youth hostel, we saw the church and we saw the Memorial Hall. And it was obviously that was what inspired us to stay in Bradwell for a number of years before we moved up the hill to Bradville and New Bradwell. But it is a delight to see how much has been changed in the hall, how bright it is, how colourful it is, and the work that's been done on the hall that will ensure that it's got another 100 years of life. It's always been at the heart of this community. It has always been something that the people of Bradwell have been able to use and have actually been able to have their events in, and as I say, it's something that the community here couldn't do without. So I'm delighted that it's been given a new lease of life by the trustees, by the parish council. We've got 2 of our 3 local councillors here, Rex Exon and Rachel Pallett, who are both important people in the community who've come here to support us today. So, but more in particular, I wanted to say thank you to everybody who's turned out, all the people who've done some work on it, but all who's turned out today to support this building. As I say, it's part of the community, it's part of the heart of what we are. Without it, Bradwell will be a much poorer place. So I'm delighted to be here to reopen it, and if I come with a pair of scissors, I will do the official opening. And you can do a countdown.
10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And I declare the Memorial Home reopened. And I shall be the first to go in.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian, very much.
Right, class dismissed. You can all go.